to midwives at the moment. I'm sure I will meet you at some point during your pregnancy or at your delivery. So for today's video, I thought I would just give you a run through of hand expressing. So those of you who have already hand expressed before with your previous babies, this just might be a little refresher. Or if you've never hand expressed before, not to worry, this is a little introductory video on hand expressing, just so you have some idea on how to do it really. So all the information that I'm going to discuss with you today, all the websites I've got them from and all the links will be down below, and there's our links and other sort of information websites that you can go to if you want to do some further reading, or if you have more questions after watching this video and you're like, I have no idea what I'm doing, then you can always ask me or one of your midwives to run through it with you again. That's not a problem. So before we get started, the most important thing with hand expressing and the most important sort of way of producing as much milk as possible and getting that milk to release, to be nice and relaxed. Before we start hand expressing, the main thing is your environment. If you're in an environment with all your other kids running around, TVs blaring, radios blaring, you're never going to be able to express that much milk or that much colostrum because you're stressed, you're not relaxed, and that oxytocin won't be flowing. So if possible, sit in a nicely dimly lit room, light some candles, bit of mood lighting, nice and warm and relaxed, or you can even do it in the bath if you want, or in the shower, whatever works for you really. Just make sure that you get that oxytocin hormone flowing as much as possible. So before we start hand expressing, make sure you wash your hands with warm and soapy water for 20 seconds, just to make sure everything's nice and clean before you start expressing. So once you're in a nice environment, you're nice and calm, what we're going to do is, I've got my little breast here, so what we're going to do is just massage the breast. So we're massaging the breast all around, just gently, either with your fingertips or with your thumb, whatever you want to do. And what this does is just stimulates those milk ducts and wakes them up and makes them a little bit aware of what's going on. And while you're doing this, you can also pop like a warm compress or a warm flannel on your breast as well, and that will help the milk or the colostrum release. Perfect. So once you've done that for about 2 to 3 minutes, we're going to start expressing. So we're going to make a C shape with your thumb and with your forefinger, and then you're going to pop them on your breast. Now you can, it depends on what sort of size your breast is and what your breast tissue is and all of that, so it will be different for each one. You can actually feel on your own breast where the texture sort of changes, so where it goes a little bit lumpy, that's where we want to start expressing from. So I've got my C shape with my thumb and with my forefinger. I'm going to pop it on my breast about 2 to 3 centimeters away. Lovely. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to squeeze my fingers together, and then I'm going to release them, and then I'm going to squeeze them together again, and then I'm going to release them. And I'm being careful when I'm doing it. I'm just squeezing my fingers together. I'm not sliding my fingers forward. I'm just squeezing them. If we start to squeeze your fingers forward, that's going to be quite painful for your nipple over a while. So if we avoid doing that if possible, and just squeeze your fingers together, and just repeat that action. The first time you express, you might not get any off, and that's completely fine. Or the first few compressions, you also might not get any off. It takes a while for your milk ducts to wake up. So we've expressed in that position, and now what we're going to do is we're going to just rotate around your breast and continue doing the same thing. We're rotating all the way around because remember, we've got milk ducts all the way around our breast, so we want to get at all of them. So just keep expressing in each place until your milk flow, your colostrum flow stops, and then we're just going to rotate around until you think you've got all parts of your breast, and then we're going to swap onto the other one. So we're going to do exactly the same thing. Squeeze together and release with our C shape. Squeeze together and release. Squeeze together and release. Lovely. So in terms of collecting your colostrum or your milk depending on when you're hand expressing, you can ask your community midwives for a sterile urine pot, exactly the same ones that you do your little urine sample in every antenatal appointment you go to see the midwife. You can collect your colostrum in that, or sometimes they might give you some sterile syringes so you literally just like syringe up the little droplets of colostrum that you're collecting. So with your sterile urine pot, you just pop it under your nipple and just collect the drops as it starts to drop out. In terms of storing your colostrum, if you're doing it antenatally, you can express it for up to 48 hours and then you need to pop it in the freezer, and it can stay in a deep freezer for up to 6 months. And then when you want to come and use it, thaw it out in your fridge, and it can be in your fridge and it needs to be used within 24 hours of it being thawed out, just so it's safe. You can start hand expressing. We normally suggest around 37 weeks, no earlier, because it is very oxytocin stimulating, because it does stimulate a lot of oxytocin and sometimes that can kickstart labour. We don't want that going on too early. Or if you don't want to start it antenatally, that's absolutely fine. You can do it postnatally, or even if you don't feel the need to do it postnatally, just in case, it's useful to know how to do, just in case baby decides, actually I'm not going to play ball today, I don't want to latch on that breast, and you're feeling really engorged and you need to get this baby fed at some point. Hand expressing is a really good tool to have up your sleeve. Or antenatally, if you want to start expressing and bring those syringes or urine pots into the hospital to give baby, that's also fine. If baby doesn't want to latch for the first couple feeds, that's fine, we can give them your colostrum that you've expressed at home. So if you want any more information, I put some additional links down below, or if you're still confused on how to hand express, just ask one of us or ask your midwife or your student midwife how to do it, and we would be happy to show you. That's it from me today. If you want to see any more videos, let me know in the comments below, and I hope I get to see you all soon in your pregnancy or once you've had your little baby. Bye!